Hey everyone, it's Riggs here with another Indiana Jones video. We've gotten a lot of news the last couple days. This article popped up with some leak information. We had a trailer and a name drop today. The name of Indiana Jones 5 apparently will be Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. We can talk a little bit about the trailer as we pop through some of these supposed leaks. This article, I'll put the link in the description, basically goes into YouTuber Doomcock's theories, some leaks that he had been presented with, and some 4chan leak information that he had also provided some commentary on. Most of it's talking about how bad the movie's gonna suck. The first leak that we get hit with, Indiana Jones 5 has had test screenings. This guy attended one. James Mangold is denying this. We got a lot of talk about mix and match endings, test screenings with Rise of Skywalker. There was never any evidence provided that that was actually real. My reasons to doubt that it's real this time. Marion appears towards the beginning of the movie and encourages Indy to come out of retirement for one last adventure. Mudd is mentioned, but not seen in the scene. Karen Allen is playing a little coy, whether or not she's been in the film. Apparently, there's nothing in the trailer to indicate that any of this is happening. Shia LaBeouf's had his problems. He's certainly not going to be in the movie. Sallah appears for one scene. You can see him wearing a fez on the right of the pic. He seems like he's present in the beginning of the film. There's definitely the trailer has a shot of him talking with Indy about maybe going on another adventure. Phoebe Waller-Bridge is playing Helena Brody, the granddaughter of Marcus Brody, and is quite possibly one of the most annoying characters put to screen. She's described as Indiana Jones's goddaughter or mildly related. So there's this seems like it could be legit. I wouldn't be surprised if she wrote her own lines. She constantly lectures Indy about his privilege. I think this is probably a bunch of baloney. It's a little too on the nose. It's like whoever was drafting these leaks that went out on 4chan knows that there are channels like this one that make these kind of videos, and this just seems like bait. Harrison Ford looks like he doesn't want to be there the entire movie. I guess this person who wrote the leaks has seen any other Harrison Ford movie over the last 10 or 15 years. I think he's got resting Ford face. That's just his natural demeanor, is disinterest and not wanting to be there. It could not be the case, but at least it's the way it comes across. Mads Mikkelsen is playing a younger version of Toht from the first film, and he does a decent job. I mean, he looks like Toht. I think the Empire article has a different name, Volers, or something like that. I don't think this is a situation like Star Trek with John Harrison. Toht is not that important of a character in the grand scheme of pop culture that they would have to do a fake out and plant misinformation in publications that are printing the first real information about the movie. Antonio Banderas is probably the best part of this movie. That's probably the only reason his character's death had impact. He sacrifices himself to save Indy and Helena before they get sent back in time. MacGuffin is a golden clock. That's the key to a time portal. A group of neo-Nazis is trying to track it down before Indy. They go to ancient Rome for a bit, but then they go back through, end up in 1933. Yeah, I mean, Dial of Destiny sure sounds like a clock. There's a clock-like device in the trailer. They are definitely traveling through time. There is definitely de-aged Harrison Ford. It definitely looks decent. I think it's a little fuzzy in some places. Significant chunk of the movie is set in 1933, and the main trio is old Indy, Helena, and younger Indy. This certainly seems plausible based on what we saw in the trailer. The movie ends with young Indy sacrificing himself to save Helena, causing old Indy to fade, a la Marty in Back to the Future. Helena picks up his hat, and the movie ends with a montage of her in iconic Indy scenes. I don't know if this is made up or not, but it certainly seems something I would do if I had made the decision to replace Harrison Ford with a different character in the role of Indiana Jones. I mentioned it in other videos. Disney paid a lot of money for Lucasfilm. They own these properties now. They're going to want to use them. Harrison Ford is 80 years old. This is his farewell to the character, but they're going to want to keep making new material. There's a new streaming platform that they have. Well, not so new anymore, but they're pumping out content for that. Perfect place for Indiana Jones TV show is on Disney Plus. Harrison Ford isn't going to be able to do it. If it's not a cartoon, it's got to be either a recasting or a replacement character, and it makes sense that they would insert her there. If it wasn't post-retirement Indiana Jones, and she's going to be stuck in time somewhere during the era of the original movies and take his place, then this doesn't really fit the style of the old movies, but it makes sense to have it. I'm sure there's people that are going to think it's cool. I think it's going to suck if this is the solution they came up with, but it makes sense. It's plausible to me. The movie also had a Helena will return thing at the end, sort of like what Marvel movies do. Uh, Again, it seems plausible, especially if they're trying to pimp a new show on Disney Plus. But I think that's kind of out of character with everything that's come before. The leaker says overall 2 out of 10. I'd rather watch Crystal Skull 50 times than sit through this atrocity again. I hope Disney does some serious reshoots or just cancels the movie entirely. Yeah, that's probably not going to happen. They've been reshooting this thing for 6 years, so I've got to think that whatever's in the can now is unchanged, and it's what we're going to end up with. Overall, I thought the trailer was okay. It was okay. It got me interested in learning more about the movie. Obviously, I've heard a lot of bad things from a lot of people that may or may not have real information. I'm interested to know more. Kind of doing a soft boycott of Disney right now, but it's very likely I'm going to see this movie in some capacity. I sincerely hope that it's actually good and add something to the Indiana Jones canon, legacy, what have you. It's been a long time since we've seen a really solid Indiana Jones movie. I was 9 years old when the last awesome Indiana Jones movie came out. We had a subpar Indiana Jones movie come out 14 years ago. If they were to somehow hit a home run with this, nothing could make me happier. That being said, I have very little confidence that that will actually be the case. Thanks for watching. Click like, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, and we'll be back soon with more videos.